Hello and welcome, I am Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Robot in Disguise Warrior Class Autobot Drift. Released in March of 2015, this guy is brand new and is starting to hit stores right now as of the time of this recording, and is retailing for approximately $15. This guy is part of the second wave of the Warrior figures for Robots in Disguise, and I just found this guy on the shelves yesterday when I was out and about doing my shopping rounds. I found him up on the pegs in one of my local retail stores. So I found him, and even though I had already pre-ordered him and gotten him in the mail, I did see the Warrior Class Optimus Prime. So these Wave 2 Warrior Class figures are hitting stores right now. So good hunting, guys. Go out there and start finding these guys. Taking a look at the package here, this is your new Robots in Disguise packaging with the white background and the red lettering that I like so much. And you've got some artwork of Drift right here as what he's going to look like on the show. I know that the show has been released overseas already and that a lot of people have seen it online. I have not yet seen any episodes of the show, so I really don't know what they look like on the show or anything like that. So I haven't seen any of the animation yet, but I'm just kind of going off of what the card shows me. That's kind of what I'm assuming they're going to look like on the show. And of course, Drift right here comes with these two swords, and he's packaged in robot mode, as most Transformers are packaged nowadays. So that's still kind of sad. I still do kind of take issue with that a little bit. I do miss the days where Transformers were packaged in their vehicle modes. You know, that whole Robots in Disguise kind of thing. On the bottom, there's a couple of cross cells right there. They show you Bumblebee and Optimus and Steeljaw. And then there's a lot of tiny type right there. Over on the side, you got some more artwork for Drift right there, which is really cool. I really like the artwork for this guy. And then on the back, you've got your product pictures right there showing you both robot and vehicle mode. You got your instructions. This guy is not packaged with instructions, just a robot and his two weapons. So your instructions are going to be right here, just 7 steps. And then again, your information for the game. It tells you to download the game, scan your figures, and then play the game. So I haven't played with Drift yet. I got to scan this guy and try him out. So let's get him out of the package and check him out. And here we have Drift in his vehicle mode, and I am really enjoying this guy a lot. This figure is turned out to be so much fun. I'm really glad I picked him up. Here in vehicle mode, Drift is approximately 5 inches long and about 1.5 inches tall. He's kind of a short vehicle, but he's a sports car, so he's expected to be. This is a really cool little sports car. Obviously, it's a made-up vehicle for the animation, but in my opinion, now this is just me talking, I can see where it looks like, to me, it seems like they took some cues from the Bugatti Veyron that they used for the last movie, for the Drift from the Age of Extinction movie. I can see that they might have maybe taken some cues from that and put them into designing this vehicle mode. Obviously, this is not a Bugatti, but it looks like it's something that could have been very Bugatti inspired. It's a very cool little vehicle mode, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Now, the whole orange thing, I don't know where that's coming from, but I enjoy it. I think it works. I like the colors on this guy a lot. And one thing that I find very interesting, let me see if I can get this guy in here and then zoomed in and in focus. There we go. If you look at the wheels, and this is true for all 4 of these wheels, the wheels are kind of like the see-through plastic, if you see there. So if I put my hand behind there, you can see that. You can see the shading behind there. So these guys are almost like this smoked transparent plastic, which is really cool because then when you look at them up here, you can kind of almost see the orange. And I don't know if that's going to look, how that's going to look through the camera with the lighting, but you can, when you have the car on the table, you can kind of see that orange of the car coming through the wheels, and it just kind of looks really cool. I am really digging this vehicle mode. So looking at the bottom, you can see most of the vehicle mode there, and it does have a place to store his swords. Now, he does come with his 2 swords. He's got a short sword and a long sword, and I'll show you these guys right here. So these guys, which are pretty neat, and they're pretty solid plastic. They're not a soft rubber or anything like that. So if you look at the handles right here, let me see if I can get these guys in focus. So one side is solid, while the other side has that slot right there. So what you do is, you'll take that slot, and you've got these 2 tabs on the bottom side of the car. So it doesn't matter which, it doesn't appear to matter which side you put which one on. You can just slot these guys right there, and you're ready to go. The weapons are stored away, and the vehicle rose just fine. And I love that. I just absolutely love when they give you somewhere to put the weapons away. Just for comparison, here he is next to Bumblebee. And you can see how these guys compare to each other. They're pretty much about the same size. Drift is a little wider, but they look really nice side by side. Now, the transformation on Drift, I find, is almost identical to the transformation for Bumblebee. And I think that works in his favor. Bumblebee, I know, is considered one of the better figures for the Robots in Disguise line so far. So having a transformation and a skeleton that is very similar to Bumblebee's, I think works in its favor. Now, the major difference here is going to be that where Bumblebee is kind of laying on his back. Well, both of them, they're kind of laying on their backs. Now, Bumblebee's, the front of the vehicle here, that's his legs and his head's up here. With Drift, it's the other way around. With Drift, the back of the car is going to be his legs and his head's up here. So basically, if you hold these guys like so, that's kind of the way the robots are going to be. But those are really the two major differences. Other than that, the engineering in the transformation itself, it's almost identical. And like I said, I think that works really well for this figure, because it's a really, really cool figure. So far, I'm really enjoying all the figures in the Robots in Disguise line, all these warrior class figures at least. I think they're all very well done, and I have enjoyed every single one of them so far. I think they're very good toys so far. So if, you know, again, understandably, these are the kid, this is going to be the kid-oriented line, so this is not going to be for everybody, and possibly not for the high-end collector. But if this is something that appeals to you, I personally think that all the Warrior line figures so far have been very well done, and it's a line that has been well worth collecting so far. I'm really happy with it. So, getting into the transformation, we're going to go around the bottom, get the swords out. I will just set those aside for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the sides of the doors right here. These guys are just going to pop out, and these whole sides of the vehicle are just going to kind of extend out. And then just right here where the wheel well meets the door, I'm going to go ahead and just extend that out. Those are going to be the arms. So go ahead and extend those out on both sides. Take the whole roof of the car. This guy's going to pop up, and it's going to swivel up and over, and it's going to swivel all the way to the back of the vehicle, just like so. You can take the whole bottom of the robot right here. This is going to rotate around 180. Take the bottom of the feet right here. These guys are going to flip down. And you can separate the legs. The legs are going to be pretty much done at this point. Take the front hood of the car right here. This is going to flip back. And then this top part of the hood right here is going to flip down to form the chest. And there is Drift in robot mode. You can bring the shoulders up a little bit just to kind of give him a better silhouette. But that is pretty much Drift all done in robot mode. And I think he looks really, really nice. Here in robot mode, Drift is approximately 5 1/4 inches tall. As far as articulation goes, his head is on a swivel, so he can look side to side. There's no up and down or anything like that, and I don't know that you can go all the way around because of how wide the back of the helmet is right there, and you've got these hinges here for the hood, so you're going to be hitting the sides of those, so you can't go all the way around. The shoulders, because of the transformation, you do have a little bit of up and down, so it's kind of up to you how far up or how far down you can put the shoulders. That's kind of a personal preference. I like to bring them up a little bit, not all the way up because then his shoulders seem like they're hunched in, but I like to bring them up just a little bit, and that's kind of the way I like to do them. But then you've also got a rotation right in here inside the, I guess what would be the bumper of the car. So you can go in and out right there. And then you can also rotate them all the way around 360. You've got a rotation right here at the bicep. Now, when I got mine out of the package originally, whenever I rotated mine out of the bicep, you can see it's an open peg right here on the back. So whenever I rotated mine, this left arm would actually pop out. And I had to... I had to whittle that down a little bit and get it to fit in there correctly before I could spin it without it popping out. But as you can see now, I can spin this thing all day long and that arm's not coming out. So that was just the way it came out of the package. Hopefully it's not something that you're going to get, but just kind of be aware of that. So you've got that rotation right there above the, or right at the bicep. You've got a double hinge at the elbow because of the transformation. So you're going to have a nice bend right there. And then you've got a little bit of a backwards bend. I don't know how handy that's going to come in, but it's there. I mean, I think that's just really more there for transformation than anything else. And you do have a little bit of inside tilt on the wrist, which is really, really nice for some of those poses with his swords. Due to transformation, you saw you've got a rotation, not quite at the waist, it's more at the torso. This is really nice. His skirts right here, these guys can actually pop up. His thighs are on ball joints, so these guys can go in and out, forward and backwards, all over the place. And because these skirts move out of the way, you can actually give them some really, really nice poses. You've got another rotation right there at the thigh. You've got a good hinge right there at the knee, and you had some little bit of tilt right there at the feet because of the transformation. So again, nicely articulated, and you know, once again, I think that these Warrior class figures for this Robots in Disguise line have been pretty good so far. I'm really happy with the way this line is turning out so far. As far as the weapons go, you can do a couple things with them. You probably saw that on the skirt here, you got a couple of slots. So you can, in fact, take these swords and slot them in here for storage, which is very samurai-like right there. So you can put those guys right in there. So he's got his sheath right there where he can keep his swords when he's not using them. And then, of course, you can also put them in his hands and have him hold them and give him some poses for when he goes into battle. So yeah, I'm really digging this figure. This guy, like I said, I just picked this guy up yesterday. I found him on the store. I found him on the shelf in the store. I actually just went in there for something else. I was on my way to a housewarming party, and I just stopped in to pick up a card and a housewarming gift, and I've just took a stroll through the toy aisle as I do, and there he was. There was Drift. So yeah, like I said, I found him, and they also had Optimus, and they had a couple other. They had all the Warrior class figures. So yeah, these guys are hitting shelves right now. So that's pretty good news that these guys are hitting shelf and they're becoming readily available. Now for comparison, here he is next to Bumblebee, and like I said, these guys, I find that the transformation on these guys is pretty similar. So there you go. There they go side by side, so you can see how they compare next to each other. And again, all the figures for this line so far I find have been pretty good. So this has been a fun line to collect for so far. I'm really enjoying this line. So yep, there he is. There is I think that is pretty much going to do it for Transformers Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Autobot Drift. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment down below. Leave me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.